Military conflicts have shaped the course of history and have had profound impacts on nations, societies, and individuals. 1. World War II, 1939 to 1945. World War II was a global conflict involving major powers and alliances. It resulted in the loss of millions of lives and widespread destruction. The war was fought on multiple fronts, including Europe, Asia, and Africa, and witnessed significant atrocities such as the Holocaust and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 2. American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The American Civil War was a major conflict fought between the Union and Confederate States in the United States. The war was primarily driven by disputes over slavery and states' rights. It resulted in a staggering loss of life and had long-lasting social, political, and economic consequences for the country. 3. Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975. The Vietnam War was a prolonged conflict between North and South Vietnam, with the involvement of the United States and other countries. The war was a product of the Cold War era and saw extensive guerrilla warfare, aerial bombings, and chemical warfare. It had a profound impact on Vietnam and caused divisions within the United States. 4. Korean War, 1950 to 1953. The Korean War arose from the division of Korea after World War II. It involved North Korea, supported by China and the Soviet Union, against South Korea, supported by the United Nations forces led by the United States. The conflict ended in an armistice but left a divided Korea and unresolved tensions. 5. World War I, 1914 to 1918. World War I was a global conflict that involved major European powers and their allies. It was characterized by trench warfare, new technologies, and mass casualties. The war reshaped the political landscape and set the stage for future conflicts, including the Russian Revolution and the Treaty of Versailles. 6. Gulf War, 1990–1991. The Gulf War was a military conflict triggered by Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. A coalition of international forces, led by the United States, intervened to repel the invasion. The conflict saw extensive aerial bombings, ground combat, and the liberation of Kuwait. 7. The Russo-Japanese War was fought between the Russian Empire and the Empire of Japan over territorial disputes in East Asia. It was the first major conflict of the 20th century and resulted in Japan's emergence as a regional power. 8. Falklands War, 1982. The Falklands War was a brief conflict between Argentina and the United Kingdom over the disputed Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic. The war involved naval battles, amphibious landings, and airstrikes. The conflict resulted in the restoration of British control over the Falkland Islands. 9. Syrian Civil War, 2011–present. The Syrian Civil War began as a series of protests against the government of Bashar al-Assad and quickly escalated into a full-blown conflict. It involves multiple factions, including government forces, rebel groups, and extremist organizations. The war has caused immense human suffering, displacement, and regional instability. 10. Israeli-Palestinian conflict, ongoing. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a long-standing dispute over land and self-determination between Israelis and Palestinians. It has resulted in numerous wars, conflicts, and acts of violence over the years. The conflict continues to be a major challenge for regional stability and peace efforts. These military conflicts represent a range of historical periods, geographic regions, and causes. They demonstrate the complex nature of warfare, its impacts on societies, and the enduring challenges of resolving conflicts peacefully. Understanding the causes, consequences, and lessons of these conflicts is crucial for promoting peace, diplomacy, and international cooperation in order to prevent future wars and minimize the suffering caused by armed conflicts.